Hi, I'm Maureen Rogers from Laurel Playhouse, and this is Curtain Call. So we are talking today to some of the tech and some of the actors for Charley's Aunt. And first off, why don't you all introduce yourself and tell us what your part in the play is?
All right, I'm Patrick Pace. I'm the director, and I also play the role of Brassett, who is the butler. And that's kind of fun. I always like to do both.
And I'm Marge McGugan. I'm the costumer, but I also play the role of Lucy, and she has multiple identities.
So double duty, how's that treating you, Patrick?
Keeps me busy,
Yeah.
but I like to try to be involved in all the things all around. It's more fun than, as an actor, it's fun to be an actor and it's fun to be a director. But I like making sure I've got a hand in everything.
Why don't you tell our audience a little bit, just give a little synopsis about Charley's Aunt so they know what to look forward to.
Well, there's a lot of little details, but basically it's a couple of college fellas who would like to spend more time with a couple of college girls, and it's 1892, so there's a need for chaperones, and they don't have a chaperone until they find out that Charley's aunt is coming, and she can be the chaperone, but then she's not coming. So somebody's got to fill in, and their friend Jack puts on the dress, and from there it's just a lot of fun. Two older fellas are hanging around, and they like her, and both would like to marry this boy in a dress, and because she supposedly has a lot of money. And there's a little chasing people around in the garden and the opening doors and mistaken identities and all that good stuff that goes in a farce.
So
and
a lot of action and free spirits.
The guy comes in to steal all the champagne, and they won't let him go, and they spin around, and the bag goes here and there.
Oh, that's great.
All that good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, everything works out.
Oh, there's always a happy ending to these.
I'll spoil the ending for you. It all works out.
So this was set in 1892, which is different style of clothing than we wear now, Marge. Mm-hmm. So what were some of your challenges with that?
With that, this time around, it's fitting everybody. And technically, it's Victorian period. But we can kind of ease it out of Victorian a little bit more because we have such a small stage. We don't need long trains or anything like that, like the women had. They were very upscale people, so every little detail has to be taken care of. And I think the biggest challenge was making sure we had enough tailcoats for everybody. Again.
So what are the challenges of directing this play and also being in it?
Well, of course, I'm playing a smaller role, so that's not so much of a challenge of being in it and directing at the same time, although it's difficult sometimes to know what things look like. If I should be up there rehearsing, but I'm out here watching, sometimes I just call out my lines from the audience.
Oh yeah.
But I trust it all works itself out. I get up there, and then I come out here, and I get up there. So that's not that big a deal. This particular play, the challenge is the furniture. We don't have a lot of space backstage, but we have 3 acts worth of distinct furniture. So there's always 2 acts worth of furniture backstage at any given time.
Oh my goodness.
So getting that in and out between acts is something that we've had to choreograph and make sure. Now you're getting the table, and you're getting the picture, and you're getting the couch, and everybody knows what they have to do and where it goes.
Yeah. So you're having the actors do that.
Yes.
Yeah. If you have the actors backstage plus the furniture plus stagehands, it gets a little crowded back there.
That it is. And it's really only the first scene change that requires a lot of actors' participation. The second scene change I mostly do myself because it works out that the furniture isn't that wieldy.
Yeah, yeah. Well, how about the role that you have? What do you like about that?
He's a little sarcastic, and I like that. He's kind of the guy who he knows everything that's going on. And so he gets to make little faces to the audience, a little acknowledgement here and there. That,
Oh, so you break
know,
that wall.
Oh, and we do that a lot during this play. Not just me, but the other actors
Yeah.
they have asides that they make to the audience that I've really encouraged them to really make those to the audience, more than just, turning in that general
Yeah.
direction.
I think that's fun for the actor, and I think it's fun for the audience because, I mean, you're not going to come out and touch anybody or whatever,
No.
but you're going to talk to them, and that makes them feel involved, I think. So that's
Yeah, and there's a lot of good jokes in there, the ones that are just made out to the audience like that. All the little facial expressions the audience gets. He gets what's going on, and they get to laugh about that.
So we actually tried to do another play and couldn't get the royalties for it, and I think this has turned out to be the one we should have gotten all the time.
We're having a great time.
Yeah, it's great. It is. So tell me a little bit about Lucy.
Lucy is a character that comes in partway through the play, and then she starts to create a little bit of mischief once she realizes what's going on. She's like the second person to get it. And then she decides she's going to have some fun with it, and she does.
That's great. It just looks like so much fun all the time. And it's going to start June the 14th and run through June the 30th, Fridays, and all Fridays, all Saturdays, and all Sundays at 2 o'clock. Then you have a special evening show on Thursday, June the 27th, right?
That's right.
So,
And that one starts at 7:30 because it's a school night.
yeah. So bring the kids. This is something that we read in school and have done.
I was surprised. I didn't read it in school, and I didn't study a lot of theater. And tell you the truth, a lot of the books I was supposed to read in English class, I didn't read. But I was surprised at how many people I talked to who did read this one in particular in school. And so it's fairly well known and it's respected. It's a well loved play.
We did it. Laurel Mill Playhouse did it. It's been a few years. I want to say 10, 12 years ago, and it was really brought the house down. So it's something that everybody's going to enjoy. And Marge, you've been in like show after show. How you feeling?
I'm very engaged. Let's put it that way.
We don't know what Laurel Mill Playhouse would do without both of them, because Patrick is also the treasurer at Laurel Mill Playhouse, and Marge has become our resident costumer. So we appreciate both of you and are looking forward to opening night.
Well, it's a lot of fun. We're glad to do it.
Yes, I'm looking forward to it too.
So stay tuned, because we have two actors that are going to come and talk about their roles in Charley's Aunt.
Two identical cars leave their identical homes at exactly the same time. One driver pays close attention to their surroundings and obeys the posted speed limit. The other hurries through their neighborhood, going a little bit too fast, not paying attention. A group of children are playing in their front yard, and a ball rolls out into the street. One car stops, and nothing else happens. The other, well, let's just say it can change lives forever. Keep kids alive. Drive 25.
Welcome back to Curtain Call, and I have two actors with us that are in Charley's Aunt. Why don't you introduce yourselves and tell us what part you play in Charley's Aunt?
I'm Lenny Ditterman. I play Stephen Spedigue.
I'm Emily Brune, and I'm playing Amy Spedigue, his niece.
Oh, great. I didn't realize that. That's super. So, Emily, you've been in a lot of shows at Laurel Mill Playhouse, and now you play a college young lady, and you actually are in college.
Yeah, I am. I just finished up my sophomore year at the University of Rochester.
Great. And what's your major there?
I am a geological sciences major.
That sounds like a lot of fun and very hard work, too.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this past semester, I just had the most difficult math class of my life.
So is it a good break for you to be in a show and kind of enjoy yourself doing this?
Oh, definitely. Theater is a lot more fun than constant schoolwork.
Oh, that's great. So how does it, what's the difference in real life between being this college young lady and Charley's Aunt and being in college? actually?
Well, I mean, in Charlie's aunt, I'm not entirely sure if she actually goes to the school. So she's like, she's a bit more of just a prim lady with a charming boyfriend, Charlie. And in real life, I'd have a lot more traveling that I do, much greater distance. I'm a lot more science-minded. There's a lot more rocks and math and a much greater range of studies than I think Amy would be doing.
So is it fun to play somebody like this who's a little lighter in their work? Or
I mean, yeah, it is fun. It's fun and it's a bit different, but I mean, a lot of the characters that I've played are like that. I don't think I've really had any science women roles that I've played before.
Great. Well, I'm looking forward to seeing you in the show. It's you've been in a lot of shows at Laurel Mill Playhouse, so it'll be fun to see you in this farce for sure. Hey, Lenny, you're back with us.
I'm Maureen.
I think you've been with us for quite a while, but we so appreciate you and your acting.
Well, I've enjoyed every minute of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
So what do you like about this particular role?
I like the fact that it gives me a chance to expand a little bit my range, acting range. The character's a little more tied into the overall plot, so I have, I
Not
really
so much
have to
as
try and sell, I mean, I just enjoy the new acting experience in this character. It's basically a shallow mercenary, occasional flash of charm, but he's going after a rich relative of Charlie's that he's got a big surprise in store for sure.
And had you met Emily, your new niece? But had you met her before this show, or before you started rehearsing?
I don't think so.
Probably.
Did we?
Maybe we met like once when I came to Jekyll and Hyde.
Okay. Yeah, this is the first time we're actually in the same show.
So have you built a relationship with her, do you feel, through the show?
Yeah, I mean, I feel something. But, I think she'd feel a lot better if I were to learn my lines. But, yeah.
I'm sure it's going to be great. And we're certain it's going to be a lot of fun. Once you get the audience in the seats and the lights on, it is just fantastic. So,
yeah, I appreciate the opportunity to do it.
So this is a question that people ask me all the time. How do you learn lines? Everybody has their certain way of doing it. I have like 3 stages I go through. But how about you, Emily? Because you've been in a lot of shows.
Yeah, well, initially when I'm learning my lines, it's me and one of my parents, because my parents are actors too. And so the first few times, like my parents will read my cues and then I'll read my lines, but as I go through and I've been studying and looking at my lines and repeating them and memorizing them, then my parents will keep the script away from me, and then they will read my cues and I will recite my lines back.
Oh, that's great. I think it helps to have a live person doing it with you.
Oh, definitely.
Instead of just, on yourself. And I might mention that Emily's mother, Lori Brune, is directing a one-act after this show ends. We're having a one-act festival, and it's 5 or 6 different one-acts that we're doing. So we look forward to having her direct again. And it's so nice that you came back, and hopefully you'll be with us next year also for whatever we do.
I shall have to see. I might be doing my fieldwork requirement next
okay.
summer.
Okay. Were you able to get to do any acting during school this year, or is it so hectic that?
It's been a bit hectic for me, unfortunately, so I haven't really done acting up at school, which is why Laurel Mill is so great, because it does allow me to do acting once I'm away from all the stresses of everything else.
That's great. That's wonderful. Well, we look forward to seeing both of you in the show. I know you all are going to be fantastic. I actually get a little sneak preview tonight. So spread the word.
To study my life.
Oh, I didn't ask you. How do you learn your lines?
No, just you don't want to hear. You don't want to know. Believe me, but it's.
Everybody has their magic way.
No.
So if you want to keep yours hidden from the audience, we understand.
No, it's it's very unentertaining.
Oh.
Believe me.
But you are, Lenny. You are entertaining.
Oh, you're sweet. You're sweet. Thanks.
So stay tuned. I have a little surprise for you, one of our upcoming shows, and we'll be right back.
For history, entertainment, great shopping and dining, Laurel's historic downtown Main Street is where you'll find it. The iconic Laurel Railroad Station is an important part of the community that preserves Laurel history. Catch a glimpse of both the historic train stop on the East End and the mill houses on the West End during the Laurel Walking Tour. And be sure to stop at the Laurel Museum, which is open for tours. Every May, large crowds fill downtown Laurel for the popular Main Street Festival. Great food, music, and even greater company are what guests come back to year after year. However, Main Street is something to be enjoyed every day of the year. With numerous boutiques and gift shops, that won't be hard to do. Stroll down Laurel's historic Main Street and discover the heart of the community.
Hi, I'm Maureen from Curtain Call again, and we have a special guest with us that's going to give us some information about an upcoming show. So why don't you introduce yourself and tell us what you're doing in about 6 months or so.
Okay, I'm Eileen Chalmers, and I'm excited about talking about directing The Odd Couple, which will open at the beginning of February at Laurel Mill Playhouse.
So you were telling me that auditions will be around November, is that right?
Right around November, and then we'll start rehearsing early December and open in February.
So anybody who wants to audition, just remember this. This will be in on our website. Now, when I say we're doing The Odd Couple, people will ask me, is it the woman's version or the men's version?
It's the traditional version. I'm even taking it to the point where it's going to take place in the early 70s, so that we can have there are two what we call flight attendants, what they called back then stewardesses, that we want to dress in. I don't know if anybody remembers this, but Braniff Airlines, the flight attendants were very, very modern with the white go-go boots and the real cute little uniforms.
I do
and
remember.
stuff. Very colorful, and the airline was very colorful. So our flight attendants are going to have that kind of a vibe to it. And we're just going to take it right into that time period. You know, the furniture will be representative of that, and all the props and everything will give it that 70s vibe.
So was it first done in the 70s, or was it done earlier than that?
It was done, I think, the late 60s, early 70s. I'd have to look on the script exactly, but it was right in that general vicinity. So we're going to try to keep it as traditional as possible.
Oh, that's great. Because
everything old is new again.
I know, it's great. Well, and then The Odd Couple was on television also, right?
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was on TV, and I can still remember. I can hear the theme in my head.
Yeah, and I could hear their voices. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
So what made you do the traditional version as opposed to another version?
Because of late, I've seen a lot of productions that have taken, and I love the fact that you can do it with any gender, and I love that, and I love going outside the box. But I feel that going in reverse now is sort of going outside the box and taking it into that traditional time period when this happened. A lot of the jokes will make more sense, I think, being that it's going to be done in this particular time period with two men. So, we all love Felix and Oscar, so
Yes.
in their own crazy little way.
People have been asking us for a long time to do The Odd Couple, and so when you came up to me with the proposal, I thought, oh, this is great, this is wonderful.
Yeah.
It was just perfect timing. Can you tell us a little bit about the characters, who's in it?
Yeah, well, we've got Oscar Madison, who is the slob, okay, and he's divorced, lives like an absolute pig. and then you've got his best friend, Felix Unger, who is pristine and fastidious, and he winds up, his marriage falls apart and moves in with Oscar, and that's where the fun begins. And in the end, Felix kind of wins Oscar over. So, and the characters are very, I love them. We've got the poker buddies, and they're all different professions. One of them is Murray the cop, and they just add to the ambiance of the show. And the play begins with a poker game and it ends with a poker game. So in different situations. So it's going to be a fun show.
I'm really looking forward to it. And did you know that Emily's mother, Emily was just here, her mother was in that show?
She played one of the Pigeon
Yes,
sisters.
yeah.
Yes, the Pigeon sisters are the stewardesses, and they are typically British and very flighty. And they're the only two females in the show, so that's kind of an interesting twist.
So how many characters total is it?
Total, there are 6 men, 2 women, so there's 8 characters.
So it's a good size show.
It's a good size show, absolutely, and I love the fact that it's all done on one set.
I was just going to ask you.
Yes,
It's just a living room, right?
it's a living room, and of course, the different versions of the disarray are going to be very evident. Like
That
in the
is so
beginning
much
of the
fun.
show, no one's going to believe how we're going to
Yeah.
convert it into something beautiful.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting, and there's a ton of props, which Sasha Nelson, who's my right-hand person, she's going to be handling props and costumes.
Oh, that's great.
And so she's already, the wheels are spinning. So.
That's great. It's nice to have them spin this early, so we'll be prepared.
Yes,
so.
yeah. Sometimes I have to remind her, it's only June.
Well, we're definitely looking forward to it. And Eileen just finished directed 12 Incompetent Jurors,
Yes.
which was excellent. It was a great comedy. So maybe some of you remember that. It was just great. And she was just in Jekyll and Hyde. So we just enjoy having you around so much.
I love it. I love being around.
That's great.
So
So thank you so much. And as it gets closer to showtime, you'll be back with your
Absolutely.
actors. Please come and audition for us. And again, Charley's Aunt starts July the 14th and ends July the 30th. You can check our website, laurelmillplayhouse.org. Thank you so much for visiting with us.